it's being healthy. Sometimes it's matchups. Are you playing good ball? It's it's always a razor thin in all things. You have to be fortunate and as ready as you can and going after it. And I think this year will be even maybe more unique than most years because of the obviously it looks like there's maybe a couple teams that have separated themselves, but everyone else is capable, and doesn't mean those teams can't be caught. You just get ready. It starts obviously with, in a way, the Louisville game for us was a single elimination game in terms of if you can win a conference regular season title and how special that would be. And so that was that mindset, and then obviously you head into the conference tournament not knowing, one of the two teams, but being as ready as you can and then rolling out and playing, and same thing for the NCAA. Our bench came in and gave us big contributions, and they played at crucial times, and that was important for us to see Justin and Thomas and Casey. Poppy didn't play in that game, but game before Poppy did, 9 guys. Those guys were important in key stretches, and that, I think, just was it brought energy, it brought life. You could feel it in the bench. We knew what was at stake in that game, and I thought that was really important. As I looked at the itinerary for Greensboro, I'm like, okay, first of all, I'm going to pack differently. You have your suits. Now, that's one nice thing. You're not packing the suits. But I'm like, yeah, this is where we went. And I looked, well, we're going to go and practice, and it's like, wait, that's where the word came where, boom, it all got shut down. So that is sobering or surreal in a way. And here you are, 365 days, or I don't know to the day what it is. But, yeah, it is a perspective check. And to have played as many games, for us to be able to experience what we did, even the way it ended for us in the regular season, very grateful. It was ecstatic winning the regular season in the locker room, all the celebration, but then you're filled with gratefulness, and then even that it fades. Like, oh, we won it. Now it's like, okay, preparing for the next game, but there's a feeling of gratefulness for what just transpired with the season, all that it took place, all the ups and downs and the people that had to come together to do it. A lot of controversy, should we be playing, when, how, but here we are. We've made it through a regular season, and now it's into postseason, and, hopefully we'll continue on. I don't know, it was 2 years, 3 years ago, there's 3 number 1 seeds in the NCAA tournament from the ACC, and you've seen that, this year, again, because of the pauses, some teams playing, just a lot of different factors. And I think every year, college basketball, the parity, you just see it. Now, again, you've seen Gonzaga and Baylor sort of separate, Michigan to an extent, but there's more parity. That's the beauty of college basketball. I don't know if the other sports are quite there yet with that. Maybe they are. That's not for me to judge. But college basketball, there's such parity. There's such good players and good teams at the mid-major and, of course, the high major. And I think you're seeing that in the ACC this year. A lot of people say, well, it's a down year, and perhaps it's not been as strong as it has been in all those ways, but it's still good basketball, and there's a bunch of teams that absolutely are capable. And people will say, well, your ACC championship in the regular season, I get it. It's different this year, but that doesn't mean that we're not going to give our guys rings or we're not going to hang a banner, because it's legit, and we did have to go on the road. So all that stuff is, as I said, I'm so grateful for it, but I also acknowledge it's been even more unbalanced and uneven, and trying to figure it out is crazy. So heading into this, intrigue, mystery, who knows? I think that's going to be, as the years go by, the NCAA tournaments become more like that in certain ways, and of course this ACC tournament, especially this year, yes.
Proud of you of Sam making first team All-ACC, and you've coached a lot of great shooters in your career. Where would he rank in that grouping?
Of course, he's up there as one of the best. I mean, you think about having coached, I think even in the NBA now, like I've had the privilege to coach Clay and Joe, Malcolm, Kyle Guy, you can start going down the list, and it's like, whoa. But so proud of Sam, what he did for us to have to win that game, to win the conference championship, to put us in stretches on his back, and a dominant performance. I'm obviously biased. I think he was the player of the year, and that doesn't take anything away from any of the guys that were awarded. That's not the point. I want all of our guys to get as much recognition. But Sam to get first team, Jay second, Kihei honorable mention, and I think Jay was on the first team all defense. You know, Kihei could have been on there. Others could. You can argue that till you want. But Sam, what he did when we needed it to win it was significant. And as a shooter, certainly efficient. His game, I said this before, you know, I wish that because our crowd is knowledgeable, I think they would have, in a bigger way, fallen in love with his game and appreciated the quality of his efficiency, his shooting, his unselfishness, his rebounding, all those things that you see on TV. But when you watch it in person, like we were fortunate to have him. So, yeah, again, specifically the shooting, I'm not going to get a text. You talk about hearing from your alumni. So, you know, if I want to hear from him more frequently, just start ranking him, who's the best shooter, this and that. We can go statistically, but he's up there in the upper echelon for sure. All below me, of course, in my playing days. No, I'm just kidding. Maybe. I don't know. That's a fair question. So we'd have to argue that, but a special shooter for sure.
Let me ask you about Jay. What work did you kind of see behind the scenes with him to explain why this was the year he got all ACC second team and all defensive team?
Yeah, he just improved every year, and he was patient enough. You know, of course, every guy wants to play a lot, but I remember Devin Hall, and I go through some of our guys that just got better and better, and they were patient. He redshirted. He was patient, didn't get a lot of time his first year to play, second year, a little here and there. And then, you know, in his third year, last year, he got it, and you saw him get better and better, and he worked at it. And like I said, I think it's a great message to people like, wait, be patient. If you know, there's certain situations where it's not great and you move on. I get all that, but I'm just grateful that he worked hard and he stayed the course, and he always showed the flashes. Now he's gotten more consistent with his offensive skill set. He's become a shot blocker. He's continued to improve defensively. And look, I've challenged him, I've pushed him, and you know, like I said, I'm happy for Jay that he, you know, he's, as they say, you know, don't grow weary in doing good, because in due time you'll reap a harvest. You know, and we talk about that as a basketball kind of idea. It's a great verse, and it kind of gets be faithful. The most faithful wins, but you just keep putting deposits in, good deposits in practice, good deposits in your mind, good deposits to the player in the weight room, and then in due time you'll reap a harvest. And you know, hope not always is it going to be an all-conference player, but in this case it was, and he's enjoyed team success and individual success, and that'll be important for all these guys moving forward in their lives, but certainly their basketball careers.